The old asylum stood as a foreboding silhouette against the moonlit sky, its crumbling walls echoing with the tormented whispers of the past. Abandoned for decades, it had become a relic of nightmares, its dark history only surpassed by the secrets it concealed within. At the heart of the asylum was Ward 13, a wing long forgotten by time, where the night shift workers were reluctant to tread. Michael, a seasoned security guard, drew the short straw that fateful night. Armed with only a flickering flashlight, he stepped into the decaying labyrinth as the clock struck midnight. The air in Ward 13 felt thick with malevolence, and Michael's steps echoed eerily through the empty corridors. As he patrolled the desolate halls, he couldn't shake the feeling of unseen eyes watching him. Shadows danced on the walls, distorted by the dim light, as though the very essence of the asylum itself was alive. In the bowels of the building, Michael discovered an old psychiatric ward with rusted beds and tattered restraints. As he scanned the room, a cold wind whispered through the broken windows, sending shivers down his spine. It was said that the night shift was when the asylum truly came alive, but nobody spoke of what lurked in the darkness. As the hours passed, Michael's unease intensified. Flickering lights played tricks on his imagination, and distant footsteps echoed through the corridors. The temperature dropped, and he could see his breath in the chill air. Yet he pressed on, haunted by the obligation to protect a place that seemed to defy the laws of the living. In the heart of Ward 13, Michael found a forgotten library, its shelves lined with dusty books and yellowed pages. A particular tome caught his eye, its cover adorned with strange symbols and ominous depictions. As he flipped through the pages, the words seemed to resonate with the echoes of the asylum's tormented past. Unbeknownst to Michael, the night shift was a dance with entities from beyond, drawn to the darkness that clung to the asylum's walls. Whispers became wails, and the shadows took form, coalescing into ethereal figures that danced just beyond the reach of his trembling flashlight. With each passing moment, the boundary between the living and the dead blurred. Faces long forgotten by the world surfaced in the shadows, their vacant eyes pleading for release from the purgatory of the asylum. The air grew heavy with the weight of sorrow and despair. In the depths of the night, the asylum's malevolent history manifested itself before Michael's eyes. Ghostly apparitions roamed freely, reenacting the horrors of the past, the cries of the tortured, the pleas of the forgotten, and the madness that had consumed the halls. As the first light of dawn broke through the windows, the asylum seemed to exhale a sigh of relief. The ethereal figures retreated into the shadows, leaving Michael standing alone amidst the remnants of the night shift. He stumbled out of Ward 13, his mind a whirlwind of terror and disbelief. The horrors of the night shift had left an indelible mark on Michael, a haunting testament to the darkness that dwelled within the forgotten corners of the world. From that night forward, the asylum stood as a warning to those who dared to delve into the mysteries of the night, its walls echoing with the whispers of the tormented souls who found no solace in the silence.